Get a personalized looks analysis and looksmaxxing advice by me and 2 women. Link in the description below. On a previous poll I asked you to name some guys that you think are overrated. Today, we'll see how women view some of these guys, and also some traditionally handsome celebrities. Let's start with Ryan Gosling. It was the most liked comment on that post if I recall correctly. My friend Eva placed him in A tier. She said that he has some flaws, like his very thin nose, but overall he's a good-looking guy and there's quote-unquote something about him. Vaso was even more enthusiastic. She was really about to place him in S tier, but she went with A. As she said, he doesn't have the perfect face, but his sex appeal is through the roof, he has something magnetic about him. We'll return to that statement later. Let's continue with Ryan Reynolds. The girls weren't as enthusiastic, but he also made it in the A tier. Both girls didn't like the forehead, but they both agreed that he's a charming man. They were between B and A tier, but gave the edge to A. By the way, these ratings, as well as the Patreon ratings happen separately, and the girls don't know each other, so there's no chance of affecting each other's ratings, something that we often see with girls who are asked to rate men on the street. Anyway, let's continue with this version of Leonardo DiCaprio. Vaso put him straight at the top without second thought. Eva was in between A and S, but went with S. They had nothing bad to say about his looks. However, they were even more enthusiastic about the next guy, a young Mark Wahlberg. Vaso's face lit up and Eva said that this is one of the best smiles she has ever seen. So, another entry to the top of the list. And now time for the ultimate sigma and a personal addiction of mine, Patrick Bateman. The comments weren't as warm and he barely made A tier. Eva didn't like the nose at all, and she actually liked the Batman version a bit better. Another sigma in the house, Anthony Starr, also known as Homelander. The girls were a bit harsh, mostly due to the age gap. Eva is 22 and Vaso is 25, so it's understandable. They liked the eyes, but both hated the smile and the wrinkles. I didn't look up how old Starr was in these photos, but it doesn't really matter in their eyes. It's not about how old you are, but about how old you appear to be, and they thought that he's very mature for their taste. Justin Timberlake joined Anthony Starr. The girls described him as cute, but nothing special. Andrew Garfield was also rated as B. Vaso didn't like the haircut and head shape at all. Eva thought he looks a bit childish/weak. She found the whole harmony between the big ears, head shape, and his thin neck a bit off. This version of Harry Styles barely made the A tier. Both said that he's handsome, but lacks sex appeal. When I showed them this picture, their reaction was identical with their eyes rolling. So again, too much masculinity will make you look like a caveman, but you need some masculine traits. Most girls won't be into hyper-feminine guys. I have to put emphasis on this because there's a wave in the black pill that these guys are the most attractive, but again, there's a difference between a pretty boy and someone who's feminine. Here's an example of perfect style maxing. Jack Harlow isn't a traditionally handsome guy, but both girls like the style a lot. Vaso placed him on B, and Eva was really between B and A, but went with B. You might think, how in the world could this guy be a 6 or 6.5? And to be honest, I thought of the same when I focused on his characteristics alone, but his style, haircut and smile give him a major boost in the eyes of many women. Now, I don't know why you guys showed so much interest for the next one, but a comment gathered some likes so I included him. It was an instant sub 5 for both girls, even though Eva liked him as an actor and a person. You often ask about K-pop guys or BTS members, and the reactions are the same. My friends don't like them at all. And it is not an ethnicity thing. Vaso was showing me one of her TikTok crushes the other day and he was Asian. It's about masculinity. Of course, these guys have their audience, but I can't see many women over 19 years old having a crush on someone who looks so feminine. Let's move to the other end of the spectrum and talk about super jacked guys. Joe Frazier barely received a 5, as they didn't like his face that much. They thought he looks way too boyish and has some side-to-side asymmetries. Needless to say that Daddy Noel and Larry Wheels were immediately placed at sub 5 due to their bodies. Eva thought that Noel doesn't have a bad face, but the body ruins all of it. Chris Harrier received an A by Vaso and Eva. They liked the face and the tattoos. We've talked about this before, getting some tattoos can give you a boost with certain girls who love that style. Now we had a big dispute over the next one. David Lade received an S by Vaso, but Eva didn't like him that much because he looks too boyish. Let's put him in A, but it could go either way. Daniel Craig also received an A, despite the age gap. The girls didn't like his hair and ears, but the piercing blue eyes and his sex appeal won them over. James Bond for a reason. Matt Bomer and his long-lost brother Henry made the S tier. Vaso liked Henry a bit better, while Eva liked Matt more, but both agreed that these guys are S-tier material. Vinnie Hacker also received an A. They liked his face a lot. Vaso said he's almost perfect, the only negative was that they thought he's too skinny and not masculine enough. And the next one is going to trigger lots of you. Michael B. Jordan was rated as an S. I think it's once again a male gaze versus female gaze thing. Guys will say, he's not that handsome, he doesn't have hunter eyes or a chiseled jawline, etc. However, both girls' faces lit up when they saw him. They loved the lips, the smile, the dimples, everything. To be honest, I can see both sides. Michael doesn't have striking characteristics, but his harmony is great. So, what is the takeaway from all this? I think that there are some things that black pillars focus on too much, while women don't even notice. And when I say black pillars, I include myself into that group. You might think that your judgment of what's attractive or not is not clouded by anyone else, but you're mistaken. When I didn't know about the black pill, I never thought of upper eyelid coverage, for example. Then, as I delved into it more and more, it became an obsession. I was manipulating the angles of my photos so my eyes seem more hooded, I squinted, etc., and not only that, even my preferences changed. I had never thought about a particular eye shape when it came to women. I was mainly focused on the color, the brightness, the clearness of the skin around the eye, the eyelashes. After I became black-pilled, I actually became super into women with hunter eyes. I had seen Jennifer Lawrence like 1,000 times, and obviously I liked her a lot, but then she became the perfect 10 in my eyes due to the black pill influence. I said this story because I think many of you fall into the same trap of obsessing over things that don't matter that much. There are guys who think that Sergi isn't attractive because he lacks the hunter eye look, and his cheeks aren't 2 meters deep. Then there's the other side of going to the other extreme and thinking that you must be feminine to attract young women, and that facial hair will destroy your appearance, etc. Attractiveness is multifaceted. You can't just focus on a single characteristic like hunter eyes or hollow cheeks, even if these are nice to have. The most important example from today's video for me was Jack Harlow. This isn't a guy who was supposed to be called cute. And the girls had actually little idea to who he is, so it didn't affect their judgment. This is a good example of looksmaxxing, and it's actually something relatively easy. Going to the gym to lose body fat takes time, building muscle takes even more time, cosmetic procedures take time and money, but fixing your style can be done in a matter of days. I was in the middle when it comes to niche maxing, but it's quite effective for guys who are mid. You won't set yourself apart by being the most handsome, because you're not, but you can be appealing to a certain group by changing your style. Most girls won't be into you, but a few will like you a lot, which is better than being perceived as mediocre by everyone. Again, we're talking about a bonus here. You can't turn a 3 into an 8 by changing his style. But even if you get 1 to 2 points from this, it's super important. You can go from utterly invisible to kinda cute for some girls. What's your take on this? Comment below what rating shocked you the most, and suggest some more for the next one. I'm also interested to see if the black pill changed the way you view yourself and your taste in women. That was it for today. I'll see you soon.